Hello everyone. Positive steps taken on the domestic front. Rajiv Gandhi, as a fresh face in politics, came to power with a lot of goodwill from the people. He tried to change the way things worked. Within his party, he indicated that he would not tolerate incompetency, corruption, and sycophancy. He introduced modern managerial techniques and tried to bring younger and more dynamic people into the decision making process of the Congress. In the long run, the effort did not work. The Congress culture was too entrenched, and even the young who began hopefully were soon drawn into the old ways. He tried to cut red tape and make the administration more open and less rigid. Anti-Defection Act. One of the first things Rajiv Gandhi did as Prime Minister was to get the anti-defection law passed in January 1985. As a result, an elected member of a legislature at the central or state level could not join an opposition party until the next election, or she would be disqualified as a member of the House. The measure was aimed at curbing corruption and bribery of MPs and MLAs to switch parties so as to manipulate the numbers in the House to form the government. Environmental legislation. An outcome of the Bhopal tragedy was the increase in environmental awareness and activism in India. Rajiv Gandhi, as Prime Minister, responded positively. In 1986 came the Environment Protection Act (EPA), under which the Ministry of Environment and Forests (MOEF) was created with overall responsibility for administering and enforcing environmental laws and policies. EPA gave authority to the centre to issue direct orders to close, prohibit or regulate any industry. An enabling law, it delegates wide powers to the executive, allowing it to make rules to manage different issues. In 1987, the amendments to the Factories Act 1948 empowered states to appoint site appraisal committees to guide the location of factories using hazardous processes. Systems were also set up to ensure the safety of workers and nearby residents, and emergency disaster control plans specified. By 1989, the hazardous waste management and handling rules had been enacted for management, storage, and import of hazardous chemicals. But it would be 1991 before the enactment of the Public Liability Insurance Act to provide for immediate relief to persons affected by accidents while handling hazardous substances. Improving local government. Rajiv Gandhi saw the ineffective manner in which the Panchayat Raj system worked in states and tried to amend the situation through a constitutional amendment that called for regular Panchayat elections being mandatory. The law could not be passed in his tenure, but the effort had been made, and in the coming years the local government system would get constitutional sanction. First steps towards liberalizing the economy. The first budget presented by Rajiv Gandhi government by the Finance Minister VP Singh sought to remove some of the controls that were stifling the growth of the economy. Besides simplifying the licensing scheme, the trade regime was liberalized with reduction in duties on several import and items and incentives to promote exports. Tax rates were reduced and curbs on company assets were loosened. As a result of these steps, business houses did well and the growth rate of industry was good. However, the period also saw businessmen and politicians getting closer, with the former doling out gifts even of money that were eagerly accepted by the latter for favors done. Real estate became a potent source of corruption and unaccounted money with the politicians. However, by the end of his term as Prime Minister, Rajiv Gandhi, faced with several problems in the country, went back to populism. Taxes were increased on consumer durables and air travel made more expensive. In April 1989, the National Rural Employment Program (NREP) and the Rural Landless Employment Guarantee Program (RLEGP) were merged into a single program, the Jawahar Rozgar Yojana. Technology missions. Imbued with the desire to reform the socio-economic situation in India, 6 technology missions were set up under Rajiv Gandhi's direction. The idea was to use scientific and technology to tackle underdevelopment. The scientific approach was to be applied for solving problems. The target-oriented projects intended that India should enter the millennium as a modern nation. The drinking water mission aimed at using satellites and disciplines of geology, civil engineering, and biochemistry in locating, extracting, and purifying water so that all people in the country could have safe drinking water. There were missions directed towards improving milk yield and health of cows, expanding the production of edible oil so that imports could be curbed, improving health of people, especially through immunization of children against polio, and increasing literacy by spreading the television network to rural areas and using it as a medium. These were all good ideas and evolved into other programs over time. The best known of the missions was that of telecommunications. Realizing the importance of communications to reach remote corners of the vast country, Rajiv Gandhi wanted improvement of service, dependability, and accessibility of telecom across India. Indigenous development, local talent, and privatization were part of the mission. Sam Pitroda, a young US trained Indian telecom expert, became Rajiv Gandhi's advisor on this as well as that other technology missions. He was made the chairman of the Telecom Commission. The Mahanagar Telephone Nigam Limited, properly known as MTNL, was set up. Computerization. Computerization was another field in which Rajiv Gandhi's initiative has to be appreciated. His government took steps to make it easy for large-scale computerization with reduction of import duties on components so that domestic manufacturers could increase production. Laws were liberalized to allow foreign manufacturers to enter the market so that quality and competitive prices can be ensured. Use of computers in schools and offices was encouraged. As a result of the measures, India was soon to emerge as a major software exporter. Some people have called these steps as initiating the information revolution in India. Education policy. In 1968, the government under Indira Gandhi launched the first national policy of education (NPE). In 1986, Rajiv Gandhi promulgated the new NPE that stressed on special emphasis on the removal of disparities and to equalize educational opportunity. The policy called for expanding scholarships, adult education, recruiting more teachers from among the SCs, incentives for poor families to send their children to school regularly, development of new institutions, and provision of housing and services. Under the policy, Rajiv Gandhi included Operation Blackboard to improve the educational infrastructure at primary schools all over India. Indira Gandhi National Open University (IGNOU), a byproduct of this policy, was directed towards promoting adult education. The concept of having a Navodaya Vidyalaya in every district of India was born as part of the 1986 NPE, the aim being to provide excellence along with social justice. These residential schools were meant to provide quality education free of charge to children of poor families chosen by merit who could stay in the schools. Like, share, and subscribe to support the channel. Thank you. Bye.